Good evening. Welcome again to the Issues Room. Today is our 251st broadcast here this evening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on our Issues Room page. We're still having issues getting back on Twitter, but anyhow, we're on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. And so it's a pleasure to have all of you here with us. Please, please, please welcome, share our link, invite others to join us here tonight. We're going to be discussing the trending issues in Liberia. Of course, you and I know that we have some arrests of previous officials of the Weah government on alleged corruption charges. And we also know that Mike Jabateh, the Assistant Minister for Urban Affairs at the Ministry of Internal Affairs, was arrested today on a order of the police director, Gregory Coleman, and he should be behind bars for his terroristic threats against the sitting lawmaker of District Number 10 in Montserrat County, Yekeh Kolubah. There are other things we'll talk about, but again, it's a pleasure to have all of you. Hashim Fambule, my brother, welcome. It's good to see you again. Please help to share the link. Please invite others here to join us tonight. Again, we're here Tuesdays and Fridays, as we've said, and this is part of the conversation we're holding that beginning September 15th, 2024, a day after our 3-year anniversary, we'll be broadcasting at 3 p.m. And that's every Sunday at 3 p.m. I know people are wondering why, but again, organizations for efficiency go through strategic planning and implementation. And one of the things we thought about is because we're working men, it has been difficult lately for us to converge, and also the time factor for Liberia. So we want to encourage you to know that for any reason, this is not to take away this platform from you, but to give the opportunity to the people in Liberia to be a part of, because when we broadcast like sometimes 7 p.m., which is midnight in Liberia, if we wanted to host a guest, that means the person going to be up past midnight into 1:30 or 2 in the morning. And we didn't think that it was feasible. So we wanted to give an opportunity to spread the platform and encourage more Liberians to be a part of our broadcast. So tonight we said, please, if you're here, if you don't want to let us know you're here, it's fine, but just share the link, invite others to join us here so we can have a great conversation. Let me welcome my colleague, Alphonso. Alphonso, welcome. This is our 251st broadcast. Will be going Tuesdays and Fridays until September 14, which is our anniversary. And the following day, that's Sunday, the 15th, will be here live, 3 p.m. in the U.S. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. in Liberia.
Thank you, Volcano. And to all the viewers, welcome. As Volcano said, invite people to listen and to call in and to participate, because this promises to be a very exciting and informative show, and we want to make it as engaging as possible.
Thank you. You know, I was just lately, because Spoon has become the premier, and I use the word premier, outlet for Liberian news, because LBS is not rebranding as I thought they would, but now with 7 months or 6 months going into the government, we have to watch Spoon Network, and it's no hard feelings here, it's no disrespect, right? But sometimes when you listen to some of the panelists, it just pisses me off, and I'll use the word pisses me off here tonight, because the folks who are propagating for the past government just have heads on their shoulders, but not making sense. And so one of the things I wanted us to just catch up on a little bit before we even delve into the main conversation here, the minister of Mines and Energy, Wilmot Pay, is currently one spoon, or maybe they're over now. I'm not sure. But the guy was talking about in 2018, and Spoon and his team had talked about this with Isaac Doe filibustering, throwing mud in the conversation with no verity, with no account. He acts like he has the, or he had rather, the closest proximity to everything that happened in the Weah government, and he's still being fed with factual information. When they said on Nathaniel McGill, just mute yourself a little bit when it's time for you, because okay. When they said Nathaniel McGill, uh, through the office of the president, had reached out to Gessler Murray, the then Mines and Energy Minister, to say to him, send us all what is called when you go to apply for something, application for license, right? We're going to do the vetting, we're going to do XYZ. The man confirmed that all of the licenses for all the mining industries in the country, or applicants, from 2018 to January 22nd, was done by the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs in consonant with President Weah, and the Minister of State McGill wrote back to the Mines and Energy Minister Gessler Murray and say, these applicants have been vetted, so issue them the license. Big-headed Isaac Doe comes back and trying to argue with the minister as if to say the man who has proximity to all this information will lie about it. And I'm sitting here and asking myself, how dumb can you be to defend something that hurt your country? That hurt your country. You got two people, McGill and what's his name, Weah, who have no geological background, who understand nothing about our minerals, vetting because they are lining the pockets. And so the man has said over and over repeatedly that there are thousands of miners in our country, whether hook or crook, the licenses, some of them are exploratory, some of them are, whatever it is, but they were most likely given by the president's office through the Ministry of State, with McGill and what's his name, we are making that decision. You tell me, how can you openly come to defend something like this when you didn't even benefit? Isaac Doe was not one of the ministers who even got a vehicle to drive, and Moses, and then this guy come here with a big head on his head, can't even. And if these are the people that are going to be coming back from setback, if he's one of the people, then it hurts me, because you can't continue to defend something that hurt your whole country only because you think that we are going to be president 2029, and by you making this noise so early, it puts you in a comfortable position to now be probably another deputy minister with no portfolio or a minister proper. It just hurts me. There's a time for truth. There's a time to let go. There's a time to say country is bigger than a person. Gentlemen, since you just got in, let Alphonso go because he was in the lane. Go ahead, Alphonso.
So definitely, and I put it on. Let me begin by putting it on Spoon. I mean, I guess I'm giving Spoon too much credit, but I'll put it on them anyway. So the fact of the matter is that these, as a media institution, you should first vet the people you have on your show, their credibility, their knowledge base on these issues. And secondly, when they come and say something that's not truthful, you should be able to correct them, to check the truthfulness of what they're saying. It seems to me that what Spoon is doing is just trying to create controversy.
And so no. And let me help you. It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. They're just talking. Yeah. So you have your time. You talk nonsense. You have your time. Yeah. Even when some of the guys trying to correct us, those Spoon steps in and say, "Oh, let him, man. Don't get any chance. Let him finish his stuff." And this is heightening the conversation.
So the professionalism, the truthfulness, the accuracy of people of what people say is not vetted. So anybody can just say anything, and that's detrimental to the country because we have a lot of people in our country who just hear something on Spoon. Oh, it's true. You didn't hear it? I heard it on Spoon, or it was on Facebook, and just believe that it's true. And one of the things we need in that country is the facts, it's the truthfulness. We have a culture where we don't investigate anything. We just throw things out there. Oh, everybody that man walk around, man, it's still money, this, that, etc. And everybody runs with it. Mr. Doe, as you correctly said, was not in the Ministry of Lands and Mines. The minister in the Lands and Mines is uncovering documents and he's speaking to documents. And Mr. Doe, who was a deputy minister at Youth and Sports, it's making noise, not even information, not even anywhere close to anything. It's making noise about, oh, it's not true, or it's this or that. But I like what's going on. I like what the Volcano administration has started to do. We have advocated for this for a very long time, and I gave them an A plus. We took the way we address these lies and stuff is to go after these people and let them go to court, the court of competent jurisdiction, and let them exonerate themselves. And that's the most important thing that I believe this administration has done, of course, in addition to the roads. But addressing corruption in Liberia is extremely critical. That's the one thing that has been holding us behind. If you grab people, start grabbing people, I said, though, then will not be making big money because the facts will be out there. One. Two, maybe we'll grab themselves too because their hands were probably in the cookie jar.
And quickly, Moses, before you come in, this is where Spoon Network should not be bragging. Oh, we got 80,000 people watching. Oh, we the biggest platform. But the biggest platform must bring the credibility and must put people who are sound. Who are sound. Don't come here and just defend nonsense. And if this platform is for the Liberian people and should impact the trajectory of the country and its direction to improve the lives of the people, then Isaac Doe cannot be here campaigning in 6 months to 2029. It hurts me. And it hurts me because the truth are there. Wilma Pay is telling you what's being uncovered, and yet you want to argue it, yet you want to defend it. Even the Samuel Jackson, who sometimes my own old man, sometimes he can act like he got amnesia, he agreed that if that practice was what what's his name, Nathaniel McGill and George Weah did, by taking the authority of the Ministry of Lands, Mines and Energy and bringing it to the cocoon at the executive mansion to determine and vet mining applicants and then order the minister, then Gessler Maury, to issue the licenses, then it was wrong. They had no expertise in the area. Come in, Moses.
Yeah, first, let me say hi to everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. Uh, I would like to start off from where you guys were talking about the panelists on Spoon Network. First, let's understand the role of the media. And by having one or two dollars setting up media institution, that doesn't make you a journalist. And the irony of the situation, the man himself who has the media entity has integrity problem. The role of the media is to educate, inform, and entertain. How do you educate? By providing facts. If you have group of panelists who are misleading, literally misleading the people, defending things that are indefensible, such panelists should not be on your platform. If you really want to be an objective, a credible media institution, no credible media institution will have anyone sitting on a huge platform like that misrepresenting the truth. I know everyone knows that ICDO is a CDC fanatic. Unfortunately for him, for the last 6 years that Mr. Weah served, The name Asido never rung bell in Liberia. He was one of the least. He never even had a keke when he was at the Ministry of Youth and Sports as deputy minister. The guy worked in our government for 6 years without an assigned vehicle. So this guy is so delusional, thinking that George Weah is going to come back in 2029 to be president and to sit on the platform ladder and continuously misrepresent the truth, argues about things that make himself to come across as ludicrous. And, it beats my imagination. But again, I will put it to the feet of Mr. Stanton Witherspoon. Mr. Stanton Witherspoon is the owner of Spoon Network. He has the authority to decide who appears, who doesn't appear, who gets hired, who doesn't hire, who is not hired. So if he wants Spoon's integrity to stand out, then Asido or Kefansan and other idiots, who claim to be panelists on Spoon Network should not be there. You guys are just clowns. They come and say something that are completely, preposterous, and they just do this because they want Mr. Weah, to see them as his supporters. These people are not nationalists. I know even Joe Weah himself, it's just that Mr. Weah himself is a slow guy. But Joe Weah himself should know that these people, are not true friends. They misled him. If you spend $50 million and somebody spend less than $600,000 and the person beat you, and you have an idiot like I said, telling you say you are the most political party, then you must be out of your mind. So that's how I would like to come in. Yeah.
I just thought to throw this in before we even start the show because, again, as I said, if you so love your country, at some point you got to rationalize and say, hey, man, even though I still like this party, but man, I didn't even know right in my own party, in our own governance, all of these things were happening. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to ask those kinds of questions to be defensible when you have no way to defend the doggone truth.
Of course.
At what point you call yourself a Liberian who is a patriot? Just the other day, we were putting our mouths on President Boyka. It tells you when people thought that we were propagating and we were a what you call unity party platform, we said it repeatedly. We knew that George Weah has done so much damage to this country, which is now being reviewed from our sources. That is why we propagated the message that anybody else could be president for a second term. I mean, for the next term, but not George. We are going for a second term. Right. We're very clear. So even when Boyka starts to screw up, we started to talk about it. And we'll keep talking because Boyka don't put food on our tables. No one pays for this platform. No one has contributed a dime to this platform. So we're not at the mercy of anyone. We can talk the truth because it is law for country. Boyka said we should think Liberia, we should love Liberia, we should build Liberia. So if you go contrary to his own mission and values, then we have the right to talk about it. And that's the point. But I won't be so much propagating for President Boyka because on the horizon, I'm looking for a job. If I were looking for a job, then I would say, okay, you know what, let me go solve because I know the papi will call me. But no, I'm not looking for a call from the president. If it happens, so be it. And if it makes sense, yes. But that's not what it is about. What it's about is say the truth. Be honest about it. How can the president and the minister of state take on to themselves, usurp the power of the Ministry of Mines and Energy, statutory responsibility, take it and you have no clue and knowledge about mining, and then you take on that responsibility to vet and then decide who gets the license, and all you do, and Gessler Murray too, on the other hand, as the minister proper, who's supposed to know better, should they have yielded to that? But it tells you that all of these guys come to government only for themselves. It is not a bigger picture. It's not for the country's benefit. It is for themselves. And it saddens me. That is why we have these kinds of conversation tonight, gentlemen. And let's go into the conversation here. Moses, let's talk about it. Let's start the conversation. You and Alfonso. I'll sit back, listen to you. Lay the platform. Um, Guys from the Weah administration, of course, were arrested the other day, taken to the National Police Headquarters for questioning, and apparently, the LACC
Audit.
investigation and audit showed incalculable evidence that these people did some damage to the country in the tune of $6+ million by laundering money from the central bank to the FIA, and making the FIA and
No
security
security entity.
apparatus just to twist the money into their pockets. And these were monies that were paid not even in checks where it could be traced. They were cash on the counter. Start the conversation, Moses, and call the names of those
Yeah.
impacted.
And the breaking news that I also like to talk about is that today President Joseph Boakai suspended the governor of the Central Bank of Liberia, uh, also in line with an audit from the LACC. I mean, the news evolving out of Liberia, very encouraging for the rule of law. Some people say, oh, well, the old man is Sleepy Joe. But man, Sleepy Joe is shaking our town, man. An audit was done. The same shady operation at the central bank, the LACC did an audit, and the outcome of the audit is not favorable for the leadership of the central bank. So the president suspended the governor, and he's to cooperate fully. Yeah, Luscious. He's to cooperate fully with authority. While on suspension, he would not get any compensation from government. So I'm told that there are other names from the central bank that are also supposed to be coming up, maybe anytime this week or early next week. So Mr. Barker is shaking the country. Now let's come to the FIA, the Financial Intelligence Agency, headed by which was then headed by Mr. Stanley. What this prominent was Stanley Ford, right? The
For
prominent, yeah, the one-time prominent musician. Uh, in July of 2023, that is when the whole scheme started. In July of 2023, based on media report, based on the LHCC audit report, the former Minister of Finance, Samuel Chue, and a group of individuals within the Weah administration, including their former national security advisor, Mr. Kamo, who is currently in prison, including, yeah, you hear me, Volcano?
Go ahead.
They are the controller of the FIA, the director general, Mr. Ford, and other individuals. Uh, they were into a cahoot to defraud government of over $6.2 million. Of the $6.2 million, a little over 1 billion Liberian dollars and more than $500,000 in were taken out of government's account at the central bank, because this is what it did. Uh, the FIA is not a security entity. FIA is basically concerned with monetary issues, making sure that anything that has to do with money laundering, anything that has to do with fraud, you know, those problems are resolved. So they collaborate with international organizations, to fight against money laundering. So the LACC report says that Minister Tuer and the others what they did because they wanted to transfer this money. They made this arrangement and they brought the FIA on board and created this arrangement that they were transferring the $6.2 million for a security reason, and that money was directed to the FIA. Okay, when the money was moved over, in a single day, they moved over $500,000, and the money was withdrawn the same day from the central bank. And they did all these shady things. And order was done. The order established. They spoke to the former, um, this guy who happened to be the chairman of the CDC now. He was what? Controller General. Yeah, Jangako. Yeah. He's one of the guys who spoke to the LACC. He was interviewed, the former Deputy Minister of Finance for Fiscal Affairs, Wolo Colley was also interviewed, and several other individuals were interviewed, and they all said that they directed to move the money. The money was actually allocated for the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. So with the director of Minister Tuer, with the reported director of Minister Tuer, they went and took the money from the allocation, the budgetary allocation for the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare. They moved the money over to the FIA. And in order to succeed in what they were doing, when the money was deposited into the FIA account, they wasted no time. They just went and started writing checks out to people. People were going to the central bank, they received the money, and how they were able to defraud government of over $6.2 million. The order was done. There is order established that the controller, Mr. Cooper, Moses D. Cooper, their former National Security Advisor, Mr. Kamor, Mr. Tuwe, the former Director General of the FIA, Mr. Ford, these four individuals named pop up, and the order held them liable. The Monrovia City Court yesterday issued a warrant for the arrest of the individuals. So far, the Liberian government has been able to arrest the former Solicitor General, Councillor Yanti, Tuan Yanti, something like that. He has been arrested. He's currently at the Monrovia Central Prison. The former National Security Advisor is currently detained. Mr. Kamor is currently detained at the Monrovia Central Prison. The government has issued, a warrant for former Finance Minister Samuel Chua. Is my understanding that Mr. Chua is currently out of the country. I don't know how credible that information is, but Mr. Chua and the other individuals are currently on the run.
All right.
This is the situation.
So this is the clip here from Spoon Network, and we want to give them credit with the guys coming out of the Temple of Justice in Monrovia. So you can see the handcuff onto
guys.
front.
Guys. Yeah, they're taking them to prison now. Yeah.
The other two behind also with handcuff.
And the controller.
Glasses.
Yeah.
This guy right here with the glasses has handcuff. He's cuffed to the other guy next to him.
Yeah, taken into prison.
So there you have it. Former President George Weah, National Security Advisor, and they're being taken to jail for alleged allegations of misappropriation of funds right here from the Ministry of Justice. So earlier on, the former president, Solicitor General, Councillor Tuan, left, and now you see the former security advisor also going to get to jail ready.
So what you make out of this scene? Let me just put a little point into it. One pickup, they still trying to arrange how the prisoners will go, and they finally decided everybody jump in the pickup, some in the pickup back, and all of that. But no escort behind there to protect the pickup, and no escort in front to protect the pickup.
It's a serious race.
You know when they carrying prisoners here, how
Of course, yeah. They have other vehicles following.
I don't know if Fremont is here tonight, but he's in the military.
Really, yeah.
You just got it one pickup going with high profile,
yeah.
From the former ruling party.
Yeah.
And you got no proper protection. You say you arrest now, you carry, you going to go put to jail. Yeah, think about it.
The other thing I would add to that, Volcano and Moses, is there's nobody sitting on the side. So you have the people sitting at the door. The prisoners sitting directly at the door.
So when
they are called,
anybody can
run, my man.
Jump out and run, or even
to cut out. What are you talking?
Yeah, or even try to commit suicide, because this is an embarrassing situation. That is the reason why when you put somebody in a police car, you make sure a police officer, some security person is the one seated at the door.
And then they put you in the middle,
They put you in the middle, because if that doesn't happen, the person can, try to jump out of the car to, commit suicide and kill themselves and all of that. Just to add to that. But definitely what's happening in Liberia, what I saw in that video, and we've read about what has been happening lately, I must say is groundbreaking. It's what we have been looking for a very, very long time. And I must commend the Black administration. I must commend the Justice Ministry. I must commend the LSCC. I've been very critical of them. We are here. I've been very, very critical of them since they came into power, that they were moving too slowly. But now we realize that they wanted to gather the facts. They wanted to gather the evidence. They wanted others to take place before they move. So I must really commend them, and I must encourage them to continue. Because this whole thing, I mean, that was just a cartel of criminals in that country, really milking the country to enrich themselves at the detriment of the poor, struggling people. How can a group of people go and steal $6.2 million when hospitals in the counties were not even getting the $100,000 per year that they put in the budget for them? How do we be stealing billions of dollars when our people have to rely on medical medicines donated by the United States government to treat people in our hospitals? When hospitals have to resort to forcing people to buy medicine from them as the only way of sustaining themselves, because the U.S. sends the money, the medicine, they say, okay, come here and pay the 2 cents so we can go and get additional medicine, so we can get additional gauze and stuff to treat you. How can a group of people treat their own people like this and call themselves leaders and politicians? What they did at the FIA, and I'm glad, I want to say it's criminal, but I'm glad the government realized it's actually criminal. As Moses correctly said, the FIA is an intelligence unit to go after money laundering and theft and all of that. That's
Interestingly,
that's the very agency they use to steal money. They took the FIA director and put him on the National Security Council.
Yes.
So they can lie to say that, easily get money out, and B, they can say it's being used for security because people don't audit security institutions and all of those things. I'm glad that the Black administration is pursuing these people. I hope to be held accountable, and I hope the road leads to wherever. And we know where the road should lead to. We know all of these things happen from the top. There was directive.
This the 49 condominium is saying that he had note. He doesn't know anything about
Yeah.
that.
Well, 49 condominium is holding a major press conference tomorrow. That's breaking news, and inviting all the CDC county officials and everybody to come to party headquarters. They're going to hold a press conference. The Black administration must not be intimidated.
No.
And the security forces must be put on alert. And anybody who causes any trouble tomorrow, whether through speech or actual physical or disobedience, must be arrested. And that's what I'll end on this note, and then we can continue. I also want to applaud Gregory Coleman for issuing the order today to arrest the assistant minister. That
we'll come to that. It's on the menu.
Yeah, because the police doesn't need to wait for directive from president or whatever to do whatever. They have their job. It's in their terms of reference, and they should act immediately. And they should be on alert. And anybody who causes trouble tomorrow or incites trouble tomorrow must also be held accountable, held and made to answer.
So let me come in quick. That is why we tongue lashed the young orator, the young PhD, the inexperienced PhD on the subject matters of Liberia. Accordingly, she wrote a book on dual citizenship. So now she's close with the authority to know the relationship of America and that with Liberia. When you have a few guys who could barely afford the other day here have turned into millionaires, is Samuel Towe, lives in the Ivory Coast in his own palace. Within 6 years, how did he get the money, right? How did these people get the money? And whose money was it? It is the money that
people's money.
I'm not going to forget about the people's money. It is the money that we continue to borrow. And who you think make the statement say, give it to them? The people are suffering. It is the United States. Why you think the United States says that this Weah government is fond of kleptocratics? And when I say the government, it means that the representation of a certain leader within the government made that statement. Why do you think that all of these other reports coming down, why do you think that these sanctions coming down? It was to send a message to the Liberian people that, listen, these people are not good to you. But the same Liberian people who this girl you have been preaching to went and put a Nathaniel McGill in the Senate, put a Bill Towe in the Senate, put an Amara Kone in the Senate because they're looking for protection. They're looking for protection after stealing, willfully stealing, pillaging the country's money. I'm here that Amara Kone is tied to more than $100 million scandal with the Ellen's government. And I don't want Barker to stop here. I want him to keep going. Go all the way back. Because I'm one of the people who said that Ellen could have built golden streets in Liberia for all of the debts that were waived and all the monies that were pumped into her government. The respect she had in the international community, the free will, the support. Ellen could have built golden streets in Liberia. And I'm being figurative, but most of our streets should have been done. Our roads, we got good money. But they did whitewash development. Put a 2-gate terminal and call it a new airport. Spent millions to billions on a hydro plant that didn't work. So I'm just saying these things that these people have never cared. And it's shown in their opulence lifestyle. How much money can the government pay her employees that they will become millionaires overnight? Moses said, you and I have worked for the last 20 plus years in America, and we make more money than them. But we are not millionaires. We're not even quite 1,000 years.
No, we're not even 100 years.
Yeah, 100 years, put it that way. And these guys became millionaires overnight.
Yeah.
And we talk about these things, and you got people who their brain is so muddy, they got head on their shoulder, but nothing in the head. And they argue for this kind of wrong. Yeah. How is this country going to go anywhere? Take, for instance, let me play this clip so we can discuss it. Because they were basking in the money. They were getting the money at will. Their pockets were lined with brand new US dollars, not the Liberian US dollars that have been dilapidated, not the Liberian dollar currency, but
The one, the
brand
one
new.
at the one at the ATM of the journey.
Yeah, not that one. I the one when I'm coming back to the put in my pocket and when I bring it, the ATM can say, you know it. Man, even I will give the bank to the teller and tell us where the money coming from. Is this US dollar? I said, yeah, it's from Africa. He said, no, we can't take it. I said, oh, God. I'll just keep it when I go back to Liberia, I will spend it. I got some I kept in my office. I took it to the bank, people ain't won't hold it. Yeah. So look at this kind of circus.
Mhm.
All right?
Yeah.
Hold
See
on.
the man?
The man dancing. He say he dancing buka.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah, man, my gay.
yeah, but I want the people is to
That
say,
was campaigning town.
yeah. Now for him to come dance the buka, he ran away.
Man, girl. And then La Bro does it, man, girl.
Kind of crazy thing. I don't know why all places like this. I want to
Get us out.
no. This stuff does some stupidness. Now I gotta go
Okay.
working on all my clips again. Go ahead. So
Yeah. Go ahead. Complete your thoughts. Yeah.
time for him to come now to dance the buka. He run back to Ivory Coast, and no matter how long he stays in Ivory Coast, we'll bring him back. We'll bring him back.
It is
Why
a
you put that stupid statement and Samuel Jackson there reading the state, because the guys got a little money through so-called relationship consulting. But man, look, no amount of money can make me just turn against the country like that. And most of these guys acted like they were well off. And then they go to Liberia now, they're scrambling. If you are so well off, you go to, how can you leave America to go to your country, a third world country, to hustle? What's it, Cindy? The phenomenon is that we leave from our third world countries, our sugar, honey, iced tea countries, to go to developed nations to hustle, to become somebody. When that opportunity is given to you, make the best use of it. But don't leave a super developed country like America with all the prospects in place. You can go to school, you can take student loan, you can do this, you can do that. You don't accomplish those aspirations, then you leave to go to Liberia to go hustle. All because the government has become the place to get rich overnight.
Yeah, all because of theft.
Yeah.
It's basically because of theft. What is happening, it just further reaffirmed what President Walker said, that this won't be business as usual. And I hope this what is happening now won't be a publicity stunt. I want the government to take all of these matters, you know, to ensure that the individuals who are being accused, those individuals are given their days in court and the matter fully prosecuted. If the record shows that the government is in the wrong, you let the people go. But if the record shows that people committed crime, those people should be held liable. That's the only way you can build a vibrant and stable society with adhering to the rule of law. What we saw for the last 6 years, we saw somebody who enabled, who pampered the corrupt because he himself was extremely corrupt. He was fixated on accumulating wealth overnight. As a result, all these things were happening. He paid no attention to them because it was all about himself, his personal ego, self-centeredness. That's what Mr. Weah was all about. So today we see that his people are in the street calling this a witch hunt. Volcano, guess what? You see, the paradox of the situation is they call this a witch hunt. Who gave the authority, the extra judicial authority that the LSCC has? It was the Weah's administration. They gave the LSCC the authority to gather data, to investigate, and prosecute. And the guys who are prosecuting these cases now, these are individuals that were what? Appointed by Mr. Weah. So Mr. Weah is telling us, or the CDC folks, Samuel Tue and the others are saying that people witch hunting there. I didn't see that it is their own people witch hunting there. Because the audits were all done by what? Individuals appointed by the CDC. They brought in their own people, the people investigated, their own former officials went and said, oh, that Tue said we should do this. Everybody said Tue. He turns around and say, oh, that witch hunt. The people after me, this is political witch hunt. And this is the appeal that I would like to make to Mr. Weah. I want Mr. Weah to at least take a sober reflection. If he wants to be treated with respect and dignity in our country, let him back off. There's no need of putting talks in the street tomorrow. The records are there. This is indefensible. This is no wish hunt.
But we don't know what his press conference is about, so we can't assume.
It is in the wake, I'm just assuming it is in the wake of what is happening that they want to put people in the street. But I can tell Mr. Weah,
he could be also arrested at some point.
Yes, that's what I'm telling him, Mr. Weah. If you want to be treated with respect and dignity as former leader, back off. Nobody has accused you of any crime. Nobody has come knocking on your doors. Let the rule of law play out. By putting people in the street, you will be making things bad for yourself. Because if anything goes wrong and your name is associated with that, even the international community will not support you. We do not have two presidents in Liberia. He's talking about he wants to have a nationwide address. What are you talking about? You had 6 years, you never spoke to anybody. Then you want to have a nationwide address on what?
Yeah.
You had 6 years, you better speak to journalists.
During the 6 years, the mayor Bobo. So
yeah, they say, well, a nationwide address. Who does he come to talk to?
So somebody said on Facebook, somebody posted on Facebook, it was really funny and I like it. They said a witch hunt. They said, but my man, if you're not a witch and they're hunting witches, why are you worried?
but look, let me just say this, I'll give it to you guys, man. Volcano and Alphonso, this is the funny thing now. If you read the statement that came from Tue, that's why I don't listen to him, because this guy is a pathological liar. Tue had the audacity to say that the concern raised by Liberians regarding the $25 million MOPA exercise, Tue says that's a witch hunt. Did you not hear Tue say he took money to Nukutan to change?
Yeah.
Then how do you call that witch hunt?
How can the finance minister scoop so low, taking money in the street to change? Like he's a money changer.
The message we took money, the audio, the videos are there. The message we took the money to Nukutan. And the 12 men are telling you today that is witch hunt.
When they're saying these things because they empower, they think that they're invincible.
Yeah.
And they don't know that history will be recorded. The 10th of and look, I'll tell you this. The way those guys ran the country for the 12 years, it was like they didn't give an F like they would say. They didn't care. They didn't care. They were not accountable to nothing. Not even the laws of the country they were accountable to. Not even the policies of the country they were accountable to. They didn't have fear for anything. You tell me, how can you take $6.2 million
Yeah.
on this kind of condition? Because this is the topic we're having.
No, just writing checks to people. Yeah.
Few guys take $6.2 million because all the people in campaign mode, they will not be paying attention. You crazy? Are you crazy? That process had to start from somewhere, in as much as you guys tried to circumvent the process by not cutting checks, by going to the counter and collecting the money in duffel bags. You think the employee in the bank, they themselves don't think that, you don't think they want to lick their elbow too?
Of course.
You
But
don't
how
think
the
the
whole
very
operation was going? Everybody was eating, my man.
my man, no. You think the very teller that handing out money in the duffel bag getting caught? No. You know, the thing is always up there, right? And these
Yeah.
people are wondering, but wait a minute, how can a man come here and carry all this money? The daily people kind of ask, I would talk my own. And some of these people gave their account. They got to put their name in the document. They got to put a name. Some of them, I'm sure they went to the camera and kept those footages. I'm just saying that when people willfully steal from a country with no respect and regards for the very citizens who vote you there. But then again, when you ask the Liberian people, what you want, they will just tell you, say they want the Pusawa and they want peace. Well, how can you have peace? And how can you have Pusawa when George Weah riding private jet? When Samuel Tuah lives now in the Ivory Coast? When Nathaniel McGill built a mausoleum for his mom? When Akara's grave flew to France to get married? When Eugene Nangwe is passing around with a great beer, eating lobsters and putting on Facebook? How do you eat Pusawa rice and have peace? When we talk about these things, then people say, oh, you ain't like the people. No, we ain't like what they do. We don't like what they do to the country and to the country's image and downtrodden masses. That's what we don't like. And that's what we'll talk about. And if President Bouaka and his group of ministers and government officials take the wrong lane, we'll talk about it. We're not hating the people. We're hating what they don't, what they do that is not supposed to be done to the people and to the country. Alphonso?
So one of the things that was very much absent that I noticed in Tuah's statement is that he didn't say, I'm on my way back to clear my name.
No, you didn't.
Never said it. So he hasn't told us that he's coming back to go to court and clear. We're waiting for him to say that. You're lying me. I'm on my way. I'm coming back. I will go to before a court of competent jurisdiction to clear my name.
No.
We want him to do that. If he refuses to come back, hey, we have, international security.
Oh, yeah, man. The Africa is down the road. We send Mike Jabateh for him.
We have, yeah.
Oh, man, we send Mike
We have
Jabateh
relations. Yeah.
Yeah, they
We
can
have
get
relations with the foreign government, so he can be extradited. So if he's on the run, you want to run, let him run. He will get tired running. He will be caught and brought back. So that's one thing.
You can't come to America.
Yeah. The thing they talk about witch hunt.
One I help him
about witch hunt everything.
Sorry, Alfonso, the one I help him to, the Americans say, hey, Chairman, go sit down with him.
Yeah, they say, it's saying Chairman by the,
They had 6 years. They're talking about how Ellen Sally children and the Unity Party had 12 years and they stole money and all of that. But they had 6 years to do what Joseph Boakai is doing right now. They're talking about Amar Conan in Tuah's statement, for example, he talked about how the Unity Party couldn't account for 1.7 million and all of that and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
When did you realize that it could not account for 1.7 million, Mr. Former Finance Minister? You were the Finance Minister. You quoting other reports, but those other reports existed under your administration. And if it did not exist, you could have created them, just as the Bouaka administration is doing today. You did not do that. Now, one of the challenges the Bouaka administration will have going all the way back is the statute of limitation.
Yeah.
In Liberia, under Liberian law, except it's a capital offense, after 5 years, if the government was aware of this crime or whatever and they didn't prosecute, after 5 years, the statute of limitation expires.
That's true.
It makes it difficult for you to go after those people, except you go find other legal means or whatever, or we didn't know, we didn't have the evidence, and this, that, we just came upon the evidence, etc. But they were there. Not only did they come and loot the country, they allow others who looted the country to go scot-free. Many of them to go scot-free now. And that's one of the reasons they must also pay. They cannot come back and make the argument now that why you're not prosecuting this person and that person when they stole money 12 years ago. Well, why didn't you prosecute them? Now the statute of limitation has expired, and the court might just throw the case out to say the statute of limitation expired. That falls on them. That's the other point I wanted to make, and they should take the blame for that. Mr. Weah was clearly in all of this. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought you were done. That's why I was about to say, okay, John.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. So it's 8 o'clock right now. If you're just joining us, the Issues Room here. We are here on Tuesdays and Fridays. In the month of August, we'll continue that in the first half of September. But come September 15, our broadcast time would change, and the day would change. It would now be Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to afford the opportunity for Liberians to tune in Liberia around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. when the time changes in the fall winter season. We also will hope to see if we can find 1 or 2 radio stations to carry our podcast in Liberia, simulcast when we are broadcasting in September somewhere. Please continue to like us, follow us, love us. We're here Tuesdays, Fridays, and then again Sunday will be our broadcast starting September 15, 3 p.m. Again, thank you to all of you who've shown up here tonight. We're not going to go down the list, but for those of you who are here for the first time, please crusade our platform, share with others so that we can increase our audience. We discuss Liberia, we discuss the diaspora, we discuss issues on the continent of Africa, and we are the Issues Room. Thank you for joining us tonight. Well, Mike Jabateh, we talked about him the other day. He got caught with his pants down. And they say he's a trained KGB. He will spend 2 years in Russia. Called Yekeh Kolubah, the sitting representative of District Number 10, and threatened him and said, if the man don't stop causing the president private part, in 3 weeks, he will bring Russian mercenaries to eat him. Mm-hmm. That was the word he used. EU. Okay, Mike. Okay, Mr. Minister.
So see Yekeh Kolubah being like that, you still couldn't figure out what was happening.
I'll be here waiting. Okay, Mike. Okay, Mr. Minister.
Yeah.
So then Mike took to the studio, Prime FM.
Yes.
Then went there again and rebuttressed his position, but from another perspective. So let's go to that before we continue the conversation. And the guy is like, he can't learn, right?
He just can't learn.
The man can't learn. So let's listen to him.
Not this guy.
Representative Yekeh Kolubah. My brother, between Yekeh Kolubah and myself, if this man continue to denigrate the president, I will pay people to do what? In that district number 10. They will beat him.
And I there?
I said beating, and not carrying you.
Oh, okay.
They were beating. And I was saying now, a day of threatening the president. I'm not going to harm him. I'm not going to do anything to him. I will give 1,000 United States dollars to the people in district number 10. Beating and naked.
When I harming there, you, Ministry of Internal Affairs, encouraging people to beat on the man. You could don't
denigrating the president. I'm telling you, I'm not going to threaten his life.
I won't say what you threatening you.
Yeah, but the day that man insult or abuse the president, tell the people in this number 10, if the man go there, you cause the president, you have a beating, I will give $1,000.
These are the words of the Assistant Minister for Urban Affairs, Mike Jabateh. But at the same time, you pay people if he insults the president to go and beat him. I will do that. I have no regret. That's the end of my statement. Okay. His name is Mike Jabateh. He's the Assistant Minister.
So, you satisfied? You want to hear him one more time?
No, it's okay.
You fine?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Mike is saying here that he dropped it. He dropped his action now from
from brother to beating. Yeah,
brother to beating.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Jabateh. Now, here's the irony of situation. Let me and for me, I pick up on the sort of things, right? How can Mike Jabateh be working with the Ministry of Internal Affairs and they make him Assistant Minister for Urban
Affairs? Yeah.
What contradiction is that? What is urban about the Ministry of Internal Affairs? I thought it's also making Assistant Minister for Chieftains or Towns Development. What makes him urban? First of all,
Alphonso, go on that.
To throw that phone into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good question that you asked.
Yeah, go ahead, Alphonso. Maybe you can answer.
Okay.
You muted yourself, my man.
Yeah, okay. I was muted. Sorry. No, I think what it is that even in the internal affairs, it's not necessarily rural affairs or rural development. It's the inside of the country, the internal affairs, and even in the rural parts of the country, you do have urban areas and urban cities, such as the counties, seats, the other big towns, cities in the yeah, exactly. My question is, what is Mike Jabateh's qualification and experience for him to be Assistant Minister for Urban Affairs in the Ministry of Internal Affairs?
I heard he graduated from LU.
Okay, but those things have to do with planning. Did he do any city planning and zoning and all of those things? It has to do with development issues, like what the needs of the communities and all of those things. That's where I would take it. But the second point to speak to his comments is simply speaks to the lawlessness that has existed in that country over time. People just feel they can do anything, that they can say anything, they can do anything, they will not be held accountable. And that has continued over time until people feel emboldened now to do it, to attack people, to steal money, to break things, to do anything, and nobody will do anything to me. I will go free. We have created that culture in Liberia, and that's why it's continuing, and that's what I see in Mike Jabateh. If Mike Jabateh and others have known that if I do this, I will be held accountable, that is the deterrence. But there has been no deterrence in Liberia against people attacking other people. There's been no deterrence in Liberia. People took guns and slaughtered people and raped and killed and murdered. And they're walking around. Some of them have jobs today, and they had officials running the country. People stole millions of dollars and are walking around, and they are the millionaires in the country that people are running behind. People attack other people and went free. So what's there to stop Mike Jabateh? And that is why I say the move by the police director to say, no, you're a government official, but we don't care. We'll come after you when you break the law. We'll investigate you when you make threats, even against somebody who would see as an opponent or a critic of the government, who would still hold you accountable.
But Alfonso, let's picture this now. Mike Jabateh said he was spending $1 US. And to believe that,
to beat the man.
But they got men down there looking for something to eat. They will beat Yekeh.
Yeah,
you know what $1,000 can do?
Yeah, and they could kill him. They could hurt him. I mean, in fact, just the idea of beating alone, it's a crime. It's a crime in itself. It's assault.
It's a crime against this.
You're threatening that. Exactly, it's a crime, and that is punishable. True. In fact, Yekeh doesn't even have to go sue the man or get a lawyer. This is the state that prosecutes those things.
Here's the interesting thing. This is this is after he said he was apologizing to Yekeh
Yeah.
for the statement he made. It was reckless. But there was something he
Yeah.
said in that statement. He said what he did was,
He said if Yekeh feels hurt,
I gotta find it again. I gotta find it. This one was the short version. I gotta find it again. Bear with me. Continue in your lane, Moses.
okay. But to hear somebody who occupies a position of assistant minister, a government official, make the pronouncement that look, I will give people $1,000 to go and commit a crime. It tells you the perception some of our public officials had about the poor in the country. That they can use these people as objects because why? They are poor. They can tell them do anything. I will pay you. And so this is where we would like to ask the president, since now his administration has commenced going after the dishonest in the country, let the president do the people of Liberia a favor. Let him dismiss Mike Jabateh with immediacy and let the police continue with its probe. For the fact that this man did not only indict himself twice. The first, he said he will murder the man. He will bring in mercenaries to murder the man. Then he came by, he took it back. He said, oh, the man is my friend. This time he appears on a talk show. He said, the next time I hear him insult the president, I will pay people $1,000 to go and beat him, undress him. That's an omission of a crime right there.
Listen to this. This is another interview,
Yeah.
and I wanted this part.
Okay.
Investigation as it relates rather to the utterances made by a certain lawmaker in person of Honorable Yekeh Kolubah. What do you make of that?
I think the police are working and they are coming on a duty, and that's why they invited me.
So this is prior to his arrest. But however, he was called earlier to speak about it. So listen.
And I make it clear to them that I'm not a killer. I'm making to understand that statement was a bluff statement to put fear in Yekeh Kolubah, to call the legislature attention that was sitting lawmaker, the first branch of the government, the legislative branch, for a lawmaker to be insulting and threatening the president, insulting the president's private part, insulting the president's wife. And he also threatened the president that he's going to kill President Joseph Mabata.
When did he make such statement? Can you
go on Facebook page. Go on the Facebook page. There are a lot of things he said that he and Joseph Baka will go to the funeral home. The police know about that. Police did not invite him.
You see that?
It's that you are making such a statement. Is it because I went?
Let's justify his action.
Executive branch, you want to say, oh my God, because I went and made the announcement. And the statement I made, I just want to call the speaker attention. There's a need to tell Yekeh Kolubah to stop threatening our peace, to start threatening the president. And I will defend the president.
Now, others listening to you in this interview will have the underlying factors that indeed you admitted, saying that you describe it as never.
Never.
Then obviously you have diverse views about it.
That's why that's my apology to him. I apologize to him.
So once you send out an apology, why is it the police needed your attention?
Maybe the police are not doing that. So I told him go and invite Yekeh Kolubah, who always in threatening the president.
They said that they want you on records?
Come again? Yeah, you want me to be on record to say the police, maybe they're not taking side. Maybe the president, they may say that, oh, the president is supporting Mike Jabateh. The president is not supporting me. I did on my own as a citizen. We brought a revolution and we succeeded in our revolution. For our men to come and just be insulting the president private part. People are not talking about that. They are not talking about that. But the movement, Mike Jabateh say I will bring missionary. Oh, people are going on social media, they are going on this. If Yekeh Kolubah feel that he mad, we get more mad people in this country than Yekeh Kolubah. We are only doing it because of Mama Labiro.
What if you repeat such an incident by raining insults?
Then that's the end.
Will you always keep on apologizing?
No, I'm not going to. When you follow a mad man, what happened? People will take it to be mad. I'm not going to follow him again. I already told the president, I'm not going to follow Yekeh Kolubah again. I apologize to him. But let the lawmaker know. Let them know that every time this man is threatening the president, they don't call him to order. They don't do that. The police, they don't invite him. But if he continue to insult the president or threaten the president, it will not come from Mike Jabateh. Maybe it will come from a different person. Because there are people who are willing to defend this government. There are people that have great love for Joseph Yumabaka, our president. How will you insult the president? Private part. He did it to Weah, referring to a sitting president door. I spoke against that. Referring to Weah at that time door. How would you say that? You know, you see that now you get being more afraid.
And yes. So you only have some respect for the presidency.
Come again?
You only have some respect for the presidency.
Yeah, respect. But don't say that now all that being more you making there. As soon as I about that talk, you see you running all around. That's small ball. I just joke with him small. Then you run it on the media. Then the let visit politicians that to they carry all the radio station. That's just joke. Political joke. We got a practical joke.
That was what I wanted. Mike Jabateh calls it political joke. That's a new one in the Liberian politicking. Political joke. I'm gonna do something here in the issues room and call it political.
So this is why
to put fear in him. That's what they don't want that.
Say a message to those who want to act disorderly or act other way in such a form and manner.
No, it's just we got this country is a country. We have law here, and people we have culture in this country here. If you look at our culture, we should respect leaders. We should not insult our fathers, our parents, the mother around here. For elderly person, or my man who just come and be insulting the president private part. There are other people clapping their hand. Where are we heading? Yesterday, you referred to Weah as door. Where are we heading this country? A single man. When we threaten him, he want to run away now, he causing us around here. Yekeh Kolubah a small boy. So I just have to leave him, and then you forgive me. I apologize to him. I'm protected in the ministry. You will say, oh man, why the president can't suspend a man? Or why the speaker can't suspend? Why they can't suspend Yekeh Kolubah? That's the question I'm asking. Why they can't suspend Yekeh Kolubah? Is it because he's a lawmaker, the first branch of government? I think the man need to be civilized. He need to put himself together as a lawmaker. But I don't blame him, because good people are not rewarded in this country. Good people are not rewarded in this country. So
all right. So Moses, I think he came across, and that was the clip I was looking for. Yeah. But he said it was a political joke.
No,
he said Yekeh Peking. He just scared the man, and then he running all around and he's sensationalizing the thing. All right.
Yeah. They say two wrongs don't make one right. So if I were President Boakai, I would set an example on Mike Jabateh. I would terminate him and ask the police to do his work.
He was protected at the ministry?
Yeah, the man is saying that people say he's being protected by the president, and the president has to step up to the place because somebody from the executive threatened to kill another Liberian. And this man is not remorseful. He said it on the phone. Now he has gone on social media. It's in the media. He had a news conference. He had a news interview. He changed from Kelly to saying that, hey, he will tell people to physically assault the man. He can't do that.
All right,
Let me give it to you, Alphonso.
No, hold on, Alphonso. Let's go to the clip now where Gregory spoke.
Into Mike Jabateh, and he apologizing. He's sorry. He was just joking. I told him, I said, no. I mean, explain it to the law. So I arrested him and turned him over to the officers to take him straight to Central and turn him over to the C word. On these issues, I mean, President Walker has given each and every one of us an opportunity to serve the Liberian people. It's not a right, it's a privilege. We must all be very responsible in providing the needed support for the trust that he has reposed in us and to drive the agenda forward. As I was walking in the studio, I ran into Mike Jabateh, and he came, apologizing. He's sorry, he was just joking. I told him, I said, no, I mean, explain it to the law. So I arrested him and turned him over to the officers to take him straight to Central and turn him over to the C word.
So, confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Confirmed, right?
Yeah.
Alphonso?
Yeah, so I think, as I've said before, I think that's a good move. The problem with that is if they had not taken this action, the problem would have been that people see that he did this and they got away and nothing happened. Others can repeat it. And then we have a chaotic society. We have a society whereby when anybody criticizes or says something, then we threaten to beat them and kill them. Mm-hmm. There could even be a copycat situation where people can just say, oh, Jabateh said, if we can beat the man and go grab Yekeh Kolubah and beat him tomorrow, even without Mike Jabateh sending them to do so. So I think the police action was good. I think we had a similar conversation before where I said the police does not need to wait for orders from the president to do their job because the job is already written in the law. It's defined. This is your job. You're here to protect life and property and the peace of the society. If anybody threatens it or anybody does something against it, go for them. Don't make the president a dictator by saying, I'm waiting for the president to give orders. And I want to say it should happen tomorrow as well. If anybody causes any trouble in that country, don't wait for the president to give you order. You, the police, is your job. The policeman in the street in Philadelphia or Delaware or wherever doesn't wait to receive order from a director or supervisor before they put anybody or arrest anybody or see people breaking into people's houses and go and arrest and send them to court. No, so we need to create that culture in that country of holding people accountable for their actions, including speech. And Jabateh makes an important point too. The legislature should also hold Mr. Yekeh Kolubah accountable. The police should also hold Mr. Yekeh Kolubah accountable. When he makes threats of, I would kill this person, I would do this, I would do that, they should also equally hold him, invite him, and send him to Central Prison, if that is the place. I don't know why they're sending everybody to Central Prison now, because Central Prison is a prison. It's not a holding facility. The police shouldn't be sending people to Central Prison. The courts can send people to Central Prison because it's a prison. Police should keep people in the police cells. Especially in the situation with this man, especially so that Central Prison is overcrowded. That's another thing that needs to be looked into. But I think the move by the police is commendable.
Thank you, gentlemen. Listen, it's 8:20 plus. So we'll stop here, go to memory lane to what type of country is this. I thought it was a great conversation here. We've seen some actions taken now by the Boycott government, and let's hope that the more will be taken so that people can be held accountable for the crap to do in our country. And it's not just stuff like what Mike Jabateh did, but those guys who really stole from the country. That's where I'm really, really concerned, because a lot of people have been deprived, by their actions. Communities have been deprived, citizens have been deprived, and so the unfortunate situation here is that some of them still languishing in government and still feeding their pockets, still looking for opportunities to grow their wealth. Member link here by Dr. Manin Sumo, titled The Realistic Identification of the Land Called Liberia, The Secrets, the Lies, the Truth, Part 3. The lie they told you was that Liberia is a small America, and anyone attacking Liberia is equally attacking the United States. The open truth is that in 1990, when Mr. Taylor and his Burkinabe special forces attacked Liberia, the United States abandoned Liberia. The open truth is that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Liberia's so-called Iron Lady, never fought for the interest of the Liberian people. Her fight for power was based on retribution and or revenge. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was Liberia's finance minister in 1980 when the True Weak Party government of President William R. Tolbert was overthrown. She then vowed to pay back even at the cost of her life. The open truth is that at the height of Ellen's retribution is the seal of Liberia's only shrine, Liberia's only hub of cultural identity, the National Culture Center of Liberia called Kenija. The open truth is that Liberians are now divided just as they want us to be. With more than 30 political parties, Liberians are divided for the worst. The recent controversial oration is now new. It's rather not new. This oration is a photocopy of the Liberian Declaration of Independence. On July 26, 1847, Liberia declared independence from the American Colonization Society. According to the declaration document, the declaration accused the United States of injustices that forced enslaved people to leave and establish new lives in Africa. The declaration outlined the history of the former slaves, now Americo-Liberians, who settled in the colony, including the injustices faced by African Americans as a result of slavery in the United States. The declaration also noted that the American Colonization Society's gradual withdrawal from governance in favor of increasing self-governance by the colonies. So did we hear anything new after 177 years as a nation, or was the timing of the message at the time was wrong? The truth, or rather the open truth, is that no amount of complaints about America did this, America did that, can fix Liberia's problems. Complaining is just another form of laziness and justification to continue to corrupt its own coffers and people. Complaining is just another way to ignore impunity and boost corruption. Choose ye what is good, complain or compete, unity or multi-piety. Happy post-birthday, Liberia. Happy post-Independence Day to you all. I come in peace. And this one is written by Dr. Manin Sumo, Augustine Manin Sumo, a contributor here to the Issues Room, and it's titled The Realistic Identification of the Land Called Liberia, The Secrets, the Lies, the Truth, Part 3. Moses D. Sandy, what type of country is this?
Well,
Not using political jokes.
in fact, let me.
Whole lawmaker.
Yeah, hold on. The man intimidated a sitting lawmaker. He calls it a political joke. But I want to tell the people that Mike Jabateh is actually out of prison. He's out on bail. His lawyer went and signed for him,
But
he's out.
But if they can free Chinese man, you heard about the judge? Who said the Chinese man and free?
Yeah, for men at Liberia.
And he followed the rules, so the justice ministry is demanding that he better go find him, man. Otherwise, he would do that time. What type of country is this?
What type of country is this that somebody would threaten to kill another person, and he calls that a joke?
No, not just a joke. It's a political
joke. What type of country is this?
But,
what type of country is this? The former foreign minister running away. They said which one to
The people say can't answer for the audio. Though. You said that your political wish.
not coming. I wish.
You're talking about 25 minutes. Oh, if you are stupid, I'm not coming nowhere.
Global Livingston, what type of country is this that people are calling an audit a witch hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of country is this that the former president telling the people are coming to address the nation?
Well, 6 years ago, he didn't do it.
6 years ago, the man couldn't say nothing. But you know what? Yeah.
I wonder he sent pay for the people who you calling from all the counties, all the county representatives ever.
Yeah, you got to pay the people where to come.
What type of country is this, Moses?
Yeah.
Sumo, when the police do not know the difference between a holding cell and a prison. Shaki McCaffrey, what type of country is this? When Yemen was cussing George, he meant to say Yekeh. When Yekeh was cussing George Weah, nobody cried. Now he's cussing JMB, mercenary coming to kill him.
What type of country is it? What type of country is this that the former president he can't sleep at night, my man? He said, "The old man coming for me, oh."
But Moses, you say the man with the dragnet is getting closer to the man. The man knows.
The man said, "Damn, my man, so they coming here too well."
I mean, you and 3 other people go see somebody's car and they grab those 2. You know that you're the next they're coming from.
But now the man say he know about the money.
The man goes to bed. The man's having sleepless night, my man. The man goes to bed, he just rolling from one angle of bed to another.
I know the man say, but why did I go back to that country? If I knew all the things were happening.
The man believe me as well. I know many times I turn around and say, I has to be an actor. I was all the time. The other man say, look, yeah, now the thing in my knee, and I don't think the people coming in the vein. They thought that they are state president. He said the old man wants to disgrace me in the time. Look, they got to they running behind to my political my how you call it? My national security advisor. He said, oh look more, they got into central prison.
Sooner or later, Talu will have to go too.
Yeah, look out. Today the old man will remove Talu.
What type of country is this? The best Bugatti dancer ran away.
Yeah.
What type of country is this, man? The former president can't sleep, oh.
Man, and you say you were asleep.
But the name of Yemeni piercing was called in a report. Why is she still holding on?
No,
or maybe
the old man taking the things gradually. And you heard me say, I said, no more names are coming. The man is not sleeping tonight. It ain't not perfect joking.
Hey, man, Sumo, what type of country is this? Each time when a sleeping president wakes up, more corrupt government official goes to jail. I like that. The Bible just close the eye and be thinking, who wants you send now?
What type of country is this, my man? The church is coming to start making money because the fast and prayer not easy, my man.
Oh yeah, you remember how they were praying for McGill?
The fast and prayer services.
The pastor would say, bring one car.
Yeah.
Bring one cow.
We're praying for 1 week.
Pray for 1 week. Fast and pray.
Not fast holding you.
Y'all want us to take this one call?
Yeah, that's it.
Right, hold on. Hello, caller. Your name?
Yeah, it's here from the lady. So now I'm calling late. I know it's from the lady. So I just have few things to say.
Go ahead.
I mean, you guys just talk about everything, you know. Am I right?
Yeah, we're listening to you.
No, I say, I mean, you guys discuss, and talk about everything. That's very informative. Alphonso talked about the statute of limitation. I believe he was right. I think it's 5 or 6 years, because I know the former superintendent of Nima County, what's her name?
Edith
Gongoro. Yeah, Edith Gongoro was taken to court in 2020. That's what her lawyer said, that it's part of the statute of limitation, so the judges throw it away. So now CDC can come back and expect President Biden to go away from 2006 up to now. I mean, you can't do that. They can't do that. So you have to start from 2018 up to present. And I mean, people just need to follow the rules. If you know you didn't do anything wrong, let them just go to the court. I don't call that wish hunt, because you are going through the court process. You have your representative, and your lawyers. On one of the shows I was watching yesterday, they said some of them contacted Councilor Gongolo, but he refused to represent them because he said it's a corruption thing. He can't represent people who do corruption and stuff like that. So now the level looking for other people to be a lawyer. Well, I mean, we all should welcome this for the betterment of the country, and it's a warning to the people who work in the government now. It's not just about the past government, but those who work in the government now, they should have it in mind that, oh, when I leave power, the next person that coming will audit, and if I do something wrong, I'll be taken to court. So it's good for the country. And my only last thing I have to say about President Weah, former President George Weah, about his address to the nation. Just let him be careful. People shouldn't fool him to say certain things that will cause chaos, and that could lead to maybe a treason and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, he's a former president, and he still got other authority. Means some people still listen to him, so you got to be careful. Because I know other people on his surrogate address say President Weah will address the nation. There's only one president at a time in the country, so let him be careful and shouldn't listen to what other people tell him and go say anything that will cause chaos. And he might be arrested for some treason or other thing because he's a former president. Thank you.
Thank you, Flomo. Thank you for your contribution. And I think we can copy from Obama, right?
Yeah.
Obama led this country for 8 years, but he walked away, went into other things. If even he offering support, he does it not in the public space.
Mm-hmm.
He does it quietly to support his man Biden. But all this parallel leadership, parallel presidency, just to show off because you honor the pretense or mindset that your party is the biggest opposition party. Well, all of what does that do for the country? What does this big opposition party do? What has it done for the country? What happened to Bali Island when Weah was talking that day? Oh, we'll be riding boat. The ferry will come and take people over the river and be bringing. I look at the guy and say, what's going? What ferry will be coming from where?
What's about the airplane bar?
How about the coastal highway from Monrovia straight to Maryland?
Yeah.
So you come with all this grandiose thought, big political party, all this, this first place thing, and then you leave the country in last place. How you like that? You first place in everything, but you leave the whole country in last place. Yeah. This is sickening, man. Sickening with all this breaking. What type of country is this? Joe, we are making speech tomorrow, was in office for 6 years, and now one speech.
Yeah.
Jackie McCaffrey. What type of country is this?
Man, the man's scared about it. Arresting other people around him, and he know he participated in that money situation. So he's scared.
Maybe the speech could be one of exoneration and say, look, well, y'all just use the law to your advantage, hire your lawyer. But if
who knows? It could be.
Tijuana is rejecting money.
But he has integrity.
Correct money. The money that we used to go fight for them, that money they stole.
Yeah, no, you don't bring me your thing. That you can save. You don't put me in it.
I can hear my bro, my even sweep energy. They won't bring me that thing.
I said planning for 2029.
I got broom in my hand. I would
Yeah.
have swept. I would have swept you out too. So I wouldn't
And my man put a broom back in the corner. He said, "Hey, broom, put the broom." We always put broom in the poor corner, right?
Mhm.
So when he ready, him taking a broom again, he put it in the corner. He just relaxing, waiting for the time.
Because waiting for 2029.
Oh man, like it's a funny story. What?
What type of country is it? You said for 6 years, after 6 years, they say come here address nation. The CDC nation, you come here address.
but the nation you come here address. Why you got to call people from all over the country before you address the nation?
Hey, what for the people in the street? If I say that there, my Jabateh will bring people there. Oh.
There you go. There you go.
You with my
Maybe-
Jabateh
maybe
king
now-
on bill? Hey, you said my Jabateh king on bill?
Yeah. Maybe that
The best out of Bill, but the best out
My
of last year,
Jabateh-
people.
Jabateh will bring his mercenaries, his
Mercenaries,
Russian mercenaries.
Just like mentioned, addressing the nation, you're not going to the CDC headquarters.
My Jabateh. Everybody making name for themselves. Oh.
Yeah.
Everybody making name, oh.
Look, man, it's a joke. Can you imagine? Somebody, assistant minister, my man, challenging a certain lawmaker, my man. They say, I can do anything. In fact, I will pay people to beat that man. Lord Jesus, my man.
Gentlemen, let's call it a night, my man.
Yeah, it was indeed a pleasure being here. Joe, man.
Grace of God will be back Friday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's real, bro.
Yeah, guys.
Okay.
Let me just
Bye-bye.
get recognition of some of the folks here. I'll catch up with y'all. All right. So thank you all for joining us here tonight. We'd like to thank Hashim Fambule for stopping by, Ibrahim Blai, Raymond Clark, Manin Sumo, Selmon Dwapu. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Flomo Livingston, of course. Martin Tiguba Meno. It was a pleasure having you here in the house tonight. We say thank you to all of you who showed up. Our man Edward Nefor. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to have you back, showing up here. Shaki McCaffrey, of course, always good to have you in the issues room as a major contributor. We appreciate you and all of you who showed up here tonight. And this last one is the same Mike Jabateh say, if Weah win, he will set himself on fire. When Weah won, he said that was a political talk. All right. Good night, everyone. Volcano Shelton here on behalf of Alphonso Yenu and Moses Sandy, our 251st broadcast. We'll be back here on Friday, God's willing, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with our 252nd broadcast in the Issues Room. Have a good night.